Can I really uncover Yara Shahidi's biggest secret on the Blackish set? When people think about Hollywood stars, they often imagine glamorous red carpets, busy film sets, and a life that seems worlds away from ordinary challenges. But sometimes, the most impressive stories about celebrities aren't the ones happening in front of the camera, they're the ones unfolding quietly behind the scenes. One such story belongs to Yara Shahidi, the talented actress who captured audiences' hearts with her role as Zoe Johnson on the hit sitcom Blackish. From the very first moment Zoe appeared on screen, viewers noticed something special. She wasn't just another TV character, she was witty, confident, stylish, and full of personality. And the actress behind that character? She brought an intelligence and authenticity that made Zoe feel incredibly real. But what many fans didn't realize during the height of the show's popularity was that Yara Shahidi was living a double life, not in the dramatic Hollywood sense, but in a way that was arguably even more impressive. While most actors might spend their time between takes relaxing, rehearsing, or preparing for the next scene, Yara was doing something entirely different. She was preparing for college. Not just any college either. She was aiming for one of the most prestigious universities in the world, Harvard University. At first glance, that might not sound too surprising. Plenty of celebrities pursue higher education. But when you look closer at the timeline, the reality becomes far more remarkable. During the years when Blackish was filming some of its most successful seasons, Yara Shahidi was not only working long hours on set, but also balancing the intense process of applying to top universities. And if you've ever gone through the college application process, you know it's no small task. There are essays to write, exams to prepare for, applications to submit, interviews to attend. Now imagine doing all of that while starring in a nationally televised show watched by millions. For most people, that would feel impossible. But somehow, Yara Shahidi made it work. Her days were often packed from morning until late at night. On set, she had to memorize scripts, rehearse scenes, and deliver performances that matched the energy and humor audiences loved about Zoe Johnson. Then, when the cameras stopped rolling, her workday was far from over. Instead of simply heading home to relax, she would open textbooks, study materials, and college application portals. Friends and colleagues later shared that Yara was incredibly disciplined. She understood that acting was an amazing opportunity, but education was equally important to her future. And she wasn't just doing the bare minimum. She was aiming high, very high. The goal was clear: get accepted into one of the most competitive universities in the world. Of course, applying to elite schools like Harvard University requires more than good grades. Applicants need to demonstrate leadership, curiosity, community involvement, and a genuine passion for learning. For Yara, that wasn't a problem. Even while filming Blackish, she was deeply engaged in social issues, youth advocacy, and education initiatives. Her interests extended far beyond the entertainment industry. She often spoke about politics, history, and social change, topics that many people her age were only beginning to explore. This intellectual curiosity made her stand out not just as an actress, but as a student and thinker. Still, balancing both worlds required serious effort. Imagine finishing a demanding day of filming only to stay up late studying for exams or refining a college essay. Those late nights became a normal part of Yara's routine. There were moments when the pressure must have felt overwhelming. After all, acting on a successful TV show already demands enormous energy and focus. Adding college applications on top of that could easily have been too much. Yet, by all accounts, Yara handled it with remarkable calm and determination. What made it even more impressive was how quietly she managed the entire process. In today's world of constant social media updates and celebrity headlines, many stars share every major life moment online. But Yara kept this journey relatively private. Most fans watching Blackish had no idea that behind the scenes, one of its young stars was working toward an entirely different milestone. Then came the moment of truth. College decision season. For students across the world, it's one of the most nerve-wracking times imaginable. Months, sometimes years of preparation lead to a single email or letter. Acceptance. Or rejection. For Yara Shahidi, that moment arrived just like it does for millions of other students. And when the decision finally came from Harvard University, the news was extraordinary. She had been accepted. It wasn't just a personal victory, it was proof that her hard work, discipline, and determination had paid off. Suddenly, the story that had been quietly unfolding behind the scenes became public. Fans were stunned, not because they doubted her intelligence, but because the scale of what she had accomplished was so impressive. Balancing a demanding acting career while earning admission to one of the world's most prestigious universities is something very few people manage to achieve. And yet, Yara Shahidi had done exactly that. Even more inspiring was the way she approached the achievement. Rather than presenting it as some unbelievable accomplishment, she spoke about it with humility and gratitude. She often emphasized how important education had always been in her family. Learning wasn't just a requirement, it was a value. That mindset helped shape the person audiences had come to admire. Of course, getting accepted into Harvard University was only the beginning. The next challenge was figuring out how to balance her academic future with her growing career in entertainment. Around the same time, her character Zoe Johnson was becoming so popular that the network decided to create a spin-off series centered entirely around her life in college. That show would eventually become Grownish. Interestingly, the timing almost felt like life imitating art. On television, Zoe was heading off to college and navigating adulthood. In real life, Yara Shahidi was preparing to do the same. The overlap between her personal journey and her character's story made the moment even more fascinating for fans. But despite the excitement, balancing everything still required careful planning. Yara chose to take a gap year before beginning her studies, allowing her to continue filming and focus on her professional commitments. It was a strategic decision that reflected the same thoughtful approach she had taken throughout her career. Instead of rushing into everything at once, she created space to manage both worlds successfully. That level of maturity is rare, especially for someone who had grown up in the public eye. And yet, Yara Shahidi consistently demonstrated that she was not only talented but also incredibly thoughtful about her choices. Looking back now, her secret during the Blackish years doesn't feel like a secret at all. It feels like a powerful example. An example of what can happen when passion, discipline, and ambition come together. Many young people struggle to balance school, work, and personal goals. Seeing someone succeed in multiple demanding environments can be incredibly motivating. Yara's story shows that success doesn't have to be limited to one path. You can pursue creativity and education. You can follow your dreams while still investing in your future. And sometimes, the most inspiring achievements happen quietly behind the scenes while the world is focused on something else. So the next time you watch an episode of Blackish or Grownish, remember that there was once a time when the actress playing Zoe Johnson wasn't just memorizing scripts. She was also studying, writing essays, preparing applications, and chasing an academic goal that seemed almost impossible. And she achieved it. Not through luck, but through dedication, hard work, and a commitment to excellence in every part of her life. That's what makes this story so fascinating. Because sometimes, the real drama isn't in the script. It's in the determination of the person delivering the lines. And in this case, that person was Yara Shahidi, an actress, a student, and proof that ambition can open doors in more ways than one. Thanks for the watching and subscribe.